Taxing Social Security is only fair. It's only fair, says this guy in the Wall Street Journal. I haven't read this, so we're going to read it together, everybody. You and your old buddy Josh. This is Charles Blahouse. Let's see, Charles Blahouse. I don't know who that is. I call him Charles Blowhard. Blowhard. Removing the levy would worsen the program's financial woes and transfer money to the wealthy? For the love. This is the Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal, they usually anti-tax except this time. Now they're like, no, we want taxes on Social Security. Because, hold on a second, let me get Pablo. I'm sure the Wall Street Journal is all keen on taxing tips as well. So there's a tax that Wall Street Journal likes. Huh, okay. And again, this is just an opinion piece. I'm not speaking specific to the Wall Street Journal, but I just find this interesting. So let's see, Charles Blowhard should say, seniors should not pay tax on Social Security, says Donald Trump. Kamala is going to say the same thing here shortly because Kamala can't think. I mean, she literally is told what to say, what to think. And now she's not doing tax on tips, which I actually think is stupid. I think you should have to pay. If you make an income via tips, it should be taxable as income. I got no qualm with that. Come on, man. Everyone else got to pay income. If you get a W-2 or 1099, why should people get tips, not get taxed? Stupid. But anyway, so Kamala has stolen that from Trump, which is... Anyway, if we want a fair tax system, he's wrong. We should continue to tax the benefits. Except, here's where Charles says, a government that taxes less is generally better for the economy than one that taxes more. Yet, as long as it taxes income, it should do so fairly and equally as possible. Social Security is not a fair tax, Charles. This isn't hard to figure out why. You can make an argument the tax on Social Security was fair when they only tax up to 50% of your benefits. You can make that argument. Why? Because you paid into it on your own, all right? That was your tax. And then you got essentially a match from your company, their Social Security contribution, that wasn't taxed. So you can say, look, you get your own money tax-free, but you get the government, whatever they put, not the government, whatever your company put in as taxable as ordinary income. You can make that argument. But now that 85% of your property is taxed, not only you're paying tax on I hate to say what the government, it's not the government, it's what the company put in, you're paying tax on some of your own money that was already taxed. Anyway, and with that said, let me just back up. You could absolutely say, but Josh, you're getting more Social Security by far than you ever put in. I get that. But the return of principal, the 15% of tax-free, sometimes your return of principal is a lot more than 15%, especially if you're on the lower end of the wage bracket, which is still taxed as Social Security, which is where the tax torpedo comes. The higher earners aren't paying that. It's the lower end people, 100%. The lower middle class people are the ones who get hammered the most with Social Security taxes because they have a little bit of RMD distribution, and that makes their Social Security subject to taxation, which it would not have if they had no RMDs. So the fair way to do it is say, no, we're not taxing Social Security, but we're rich people. All right. Seniors already receive an advantage. For those with lower income, Social Security benefits aren't taxed at all. If your only benefit is Social Security, that is true. If your only benefit is Social Security, it doesn't matter if you're low or not. That is true. But as I talk about in my many videos I've done this, the tax torpedo is a big thing. And that's for the lower middle class to pay. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Even those with higher incomes, 85% of benefits are subject to tax. Anyone over 65 also gets a higher standard deduction. All right. So there's a historical reason to share the taxable benefits is capped at 85%. Well, it wasn't historical until not Reagan, until Clinton signed it backed by Biden, your boy Biden. Recipients already paid income on their own Social Security payroll contributions. Employer contributions to those benefits aren't taxed. Well, they are taxed once you receive the benefit. Until the Social Security Administration in 1983, neither was the amount by which the benefits exceeded payroll tax payments, which makes sense. The Social Security Office of Actuary in 1990 estimated only about 7% of the benefits had previously been taxed as worker contributions. The exact amount was about 15%, would be in the highest percentage, all right? Based on these calculations in 1993, what has not changed at all is the tax rates for Social Security since 1983. There, Charles Blowhard. Based on these calculations, Congress passed legislation subjecting 85% of the benefits to income tax. So this is the thing that just ticks me off. If I had my own money, I could have put into a Roth. You see what I'm saying? I don't have my own money, so I have to put it into basically a pre-tax account. I get my basis return, a non-deductible pre-tax account with Social Security. So I get my first 15%. We'll assume that's your basis tax-free, but everything else is taxable as ordinary income. But given how the Social Security works, I grant you. But still. Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. If I had the choice, I could have paid the tax now, that 15%, put in a Roth, had it all tax-free. This is what Charles doesn't understand. He's like looking at what the actuaries came up with in 1990. We since introduced the legislation called the Roth IRA, Charles. So I could say, yeah, I'm going to pay my 6.2% of Social Security. I'm not going to pay into that. I'm going to pay into my Roth IRA instead, which grows tax-free. Yes, I have to pay tax on 6.2% I contributed to my Roth, but everything else grows tax-free. You're saying, no, you can't do that. It's all going to be taxed other than your initial contributions. It's just so freaking clown show. Honoring the principle of equal tax treatment thus warrants taxing up to this limit. They're also, but we don't, but again, I've done many videos here too. You can be quite wealthy and not pay any Social Security tax. I've already done this a million times a Sunday. So how is taxing Social Security not taxing for the wealthy fair? Because the way the tax law is already structured, they can do it if they just watch my videos. Relative to freaking Mrs. Smith, who made $42,000 a year, now not only does she get hit with Social Security taxes up to 85% of her income, but because her Social Security, because she has required distributions, it makes that Social Security subject to tax. It's a tax torpedo. One of the 85% of the benefits subject to income tax, 50% goes to Social Security, 35% goes to HI, the Part A for Medicare. All right. The federal budget is calculated that limiting these taxes would worsen shortfalls for Social Security by a couple years, by 6 years earlier. Okay. I mean, so we better raise taxes then, right? Limiting taxation also worsens intergenerational inequities and that threatens Social Security capacity to serve younger cohorts. Just, dude, are you literally telling me, well, I think I read there's $78 billion of taxes from Social Security taxes that goes back into, some lady emailed me the other day, where does that money go, the money we pay on our Social Security taxes? It goes back into Social Security systems, what happens? So there's $78 billion. How much is total Social Security benefits payout? Let's just take a look. Social Security pays $1.5 trillion each year to about 68 million Americans. And this guy says it's only going to be worse because we don't get $78 billion of taxes. It's only going to be worse. Make it worse. It would. I mean, I'm not denying that. Social Security is already bad, and Medicare is even worse. But you know what else is worse too? Oh, the military, the DOD. There's no money to pay that. And how come no one talks about that? Well, it's not fair. Not fair that all this money that goes to the military, huh? It's not fair to poor taxpayers. Why should they have to pay to fund the military? That's not fair. This whole fairness thing drives me up the wall, dude. It is. If we're going to do equitable treatment, you can't do equitable treatment when you have all these tax code law loopholes and stuff. You can't. Because some people know, some people are going to pay, some people watch my videos, they know how to do this, but other people don't. As such, Mrs. Smith, who's making $42,000 a year, will just say cutting people's hair for a living, making tips that Kamala wants to go after. That she's been saving some money in a pre-tax IRA because she listened to fools saying save it to a pre-tax IRA, and now she's gonna have RMDs or just even regular distributions, and now she's gonna have to pay more tax on Social Security, which would have been tax-free if she did not have IRA RMDs. Anyway, the worst choice would be to impose larger income losses on them by creating additional tax preferences for the older ones. Okay, whatever. Excluding Social Security benefits from taxation will also be regressive. It won't be regressive. It will be progressive. This is just silly. Oh, look at this guy. George Mason, Mercatus Center. Mercatus Center is supposed to be a libertarian. So Mercatus Center is not, this is what drives you crazy about libertarians. You know, they love them some NASA, for instance. Oh, no, we got to fund NASA. Why? Because space is fun, and I'm a libertarian. I love science fiction. It's fun, dudes. Tax, tax, tax. Oh, but I thought you didn't want tax. No, we do for that. A freedom of assembly, except when it comes to coronavirus. No freedom of assembly. Yeah, all fakers, man. It drives up the wall. So libertarians, I thought they don't like taxes, except for this one case. All right. God bless. Love your thoughts. We'll see. Don't forget to caress that like button. We'll see you.